Welcome back,
special
bitches.
Oh,
I don't even say bitches now.
A very specific someone. I'm talking to you, like you.
Welcome back,
Perfect.
bitch.
OK, 今天的 Yes Queen 只有2个女
It's a
生
special day.
我们渐渐的从4个人倒退到3个人，现在只剩下2个人。
呀
我之后会不会变成就是你自己录你自己的，我录我自己，然后我们就变成个人的 stand up comedy。
我们最后就会单飞比较好。
今天是只剩下我们2个人，我们会不会整集到最后大概英文晶晶体的部分会占80%？
一定会啊！而且我们今天还要聊一跟这件事情非常矛盾的主题，我们就会被攻击耶。
Oh my god, apologies in advance because we're going to be extremely obnoxious in today's episode. 我跟你说没关系，大家有什么话想要讲，你就来找我们2个讲。
But like say it with love,
就来骂我们
okay? Like let's make peace and love in this
Leave the
world.
other two alone， 就是来骂我们2个就好。我们2个心脏比较大颗，可以被骂。
我不要，我不要承担。
你为什么要？
我不想要。
哇，临阵脱逃啊！这个心态不对啊。
Super selfish。
好啦，其实今天这个特别的一集呢，就是因为其实上一次我们在聊各种不舒服的话题的时候，我们里面就提到很多话题嘛，什么生死啊，什么 CCR 分分尺，还有晶晶体的部分。
Yes.
然后其实我跟 Samantha，
yeah.
你今天是谁？你今天是 Samantha Charlotte？
我今天回复 Samantha， 我觉得我今天应该还算可以有自信的聊这集 ，so I'm like back on board for Samantha。
好，对，就是我跟 Samantha， 我就后来因为我在 edit 那一集的时候呢，我就突然就私讯 Samantha 说，你会不会觉得其实我们在解释这个为什么我们要用晶晶体，为什么我们要讲英文，我们会不会其实听起来还是充满了优越感，就是像我们在骂那些假 ABC 啊，或者是什么在台湾的洋人一样，其实我们就是那一群充满优越感的人。然后我们就私底下在我们2个的那个讯息里面就讨论了起来，然后就觉得因为我们就是充满智慧与美丽，所以我们就觉得是不是很适合把这个话题再重新切出来，再跟大家另外聊一集，因为其实我觉得可以讨论的东西真的太多了。
我觉得光是什么死亡、生小孩这个东西就已经没有止境会聊到爆。
没错，所以有可能是我自己想太多，就其实在听的人根本没有这个感觉。然后 by the way， 我们那一集反应很好。
Oh really? Why?
我私底下有收到一些人的反馈，就是会来说他听的那一集觉得很认同啊，或是怎么样怎么样。所以其实我觉得原来这种话题其实是很多人喜欢听的。
我想要探讨一件事情，发出这样子 comment 说很认同，有男性吗？还是大多都是女性？
没有，都是女生比较多。我觉得男性，男性不太听 podcast 吧。
Well, first of all, that is not true.
占性别，占性别来了 ，Let's go。
而且是 for fact， 待过 podcast 产业的我可以很明确用数据告诉你，that is not true。
可是男生是不是比较不会听这种聊？
的确，闲聊型的
男生是会听什么骨癌
？Well, no， 我觉得那很看闲聊的主题，因为台通就是超多直男癌的啊。所以 ，but anyway, I was just curious。我想说，会不会有男性也会对我们讲到的，比如说到底要不要生小孩，什么生死议题也会关心
就是关于男性的思想这件事情，我就觉得很矛盾，因为我就是
又想要
知道，可是我就觉得我又很想要骂他们。
我们这一定得要先邀请到一个直男上节目啊！我觉得我最近发现男女的那个思觉脉络好像真的是本质上是有不同的，所以我们有非常多矛盾跟冲突的点。
是，而且很多我们会纠结的东西，你去问男生他们都觉得完全没有思考过这个问题。
Yeah, like why are you making a scene out of it？ 我觉得超常有这种事情，而且我最近不能说最近，我 literally 刚刚在开启这个视讯前5秒钟，我才在心里面想说等一下我想聊一件事就是我最近发现我讨厌的都是男性，然后就想说天哪，这个会是跟性别的思考本质有很大的关系吗？还是 I don't know, it's like a natural DNA kind of thing？
等一下，你说讨厌的男性是譬如说怎么样类型的男性
？Oh, this is a very interesting question. First of all, 是不是要转回到中文模式？等一下，有没有攻击晶晶听？
我们我跟你说，各位亲爱的朋友们，我们尽量。
你们今天就当做双语好不好 ？ICRT.
Welcome to Bh Plz ICRT. 你如果来看我跟 Samantha 我们2个的讯息，但80%都是英文，而且请问你有发现，我上次用文字在跟你解释，我整个就是会切换成英文，因为就是很流利，就噼里啪啦就用英文解释比较快，所以会穿插中文。我跟你说。我发生了一件事情，
什么？
我今天要是跟你讲英文，或是我会跟你用晶晶体，表示我看你没有，看你有，我看你有。 我是看得起你哦，还在那 mansplaining 观众朋友，
这完全就是优越感话题的一个大前言呢。我老娘就是看你没有，
我是看你有，我就是觉得你听得懂，我才会跟你讲英文，
才会选择用这个。
You can handle it.
Well, good to know, pleasure to know. 好，那我们回到刚说的那个，
你讨厌的男性表象是什么？
我很讨厌那种很 bossy，就是那种自我的傲气。我觉得有的时候他们甚至不是 intentionally 要表现出来的，我觉得就是太直了，太少根筋了。我拿一个举例好了 like 以男性的角度来说，他可能就会说出那种话说，跟着我就对，like 没有前言，没有后语 and like just like that。所以这个不是我认为让我反感的其中一项，可是我只是想要 represent， 就是到底这个差距有多少。因为站在女生的角度，我们就会很希望细心而且周全的帮助对方，很详细的理解为什么我们会说出这个话，还有我们的感受到底是什么。可是我觉得对他们来讲，就是我的 core message 传达到了，这个就是我要跟你讲的就是跟着我就对了，and like they don't get it。 So 我觉得有的时候当这件事情它演化跟延伸到踩到个人原则的时候，那这个真的就会让我蛮火大的。
男生直男，我们现在讲的是直男哦，就是他们比较不会有那种要来照顾大家，这是不是又是跟什么女性就是有什么天生的母性，就是因为女生就是会用一个照顾大家的心态在处理事情，可是男生就是觉得我就是 bang 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 let's do it let's just get it done。
But also 我觉得这个又有一点冲突的立场是 as Samantha 我真的不是一个特别会照顾人的角色，我 expect 每一个人都做好自己分内的工作，还有 deliver 自己分内应该要有的礼仪。但我的确有遇过就是直男他们非常的照顾身边的人，他们非常周全。 So like I guess 我们现在只能讲的是 majority， 我们没有办法提到那些少数的案例。
对，好啦，放过直男，因为我们今天毕竟要聊的不是直男我们再来认真的写一集访纲，然后我们来聊直男与还就是男女之间思想上的差别。
我觉得绝对可以真的找一个直男进来，然后我们就 discuss 一些议题耶。因为我觉得女生
一个人还是两个
我们有需要到两个，我怕他们被我吓跑，是不是会觉得我们太 hardcore 了。
不是，因为我想说比如说举例说如果是我们两个的话，那是不是就是应该要不要让他觉得好像我们在围攻他那个人。
OK
就是让他们有伙伴的感觉。
那两个好像比较合理，因为如果我今天说不过对方，我一定就会要求另外一个人 team me up like back me up， 所以还好
对
我们让他也有一一个队友，
追求认同感嘛，
Yes.
我们让他也有同温层。
OK，
而且我们现在是不是正式 announce Yes Queen 现在两位已经正式被我们剔除了的意思，是不是？完全没有要来 include 他们。
我们还说，
抱歉哦，
我们开4个人的集数的时候 ，it's gonna be 2 to 2，
而且我们甚至也没有先讯息跟他们讲，我们就是直接录制的过程，就直接 announce like you guys are out。
你知道这像什么吗？就像是当初 FIR 把那个主唱踢掉的时候，
不行
，without even knowing，
你这个 reference 太老了，不行。
现在的年轻人不知道 FIR 是谁，是不是？我收回，
这个团体还在吗
？I have no idea。
Lily， 从头到尾没有放过 Lily 啊
！No, please no。我们接下来如果这样继续下去，我们目标受众听众就会变40岁以上了。This is also really rude. I'm sorry。
欢迎20到30的听众继续陪伴我们，谢谢大家。
没错，继续
By the way,
Thank you。
我是不是应该其实要在 intro 的时候做这件事，就是叫 plug in。大家如果喜欢我们的节目，喜欢 Yes Queen， 喜欢 Bh Plz， 欢迎大家按赞、留言、分享5颗星。如果愿意的话，5颗星的时候也可以顺便留言一下，告诉我们你为什么喜欢我们啊？那如果是你想要留1颗星 ，OK， 甚至是你留1颗星还不告诉我们，你们为什么要给我们1颗星？你真的是不用留了。
I will hunt you down.
I will hunt you down.
Hunt you down.
I'm contacting like an engineer.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm gonna find your
like
IP.
Hacker, 我会用 FBI 的模式 to like hunt the fuck out
I'm
of
sending
you.
assassination into your house, so be careful, because that's rude.
Oh yeah.
你不可以就是只给我1颗星。
Tell us why.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
You're breaking up with the person. At least tell her why. Her, him, why? Come on, have some decency.
Let's be super honest. Have you always told your ex why though?
Of course.
Oh, I don't. I definitely have those like text breakup. 然后就封锁他。
For real, you're like the worst kind of human being. Always
For
explain.
that period of time, I do not deny
You know
that.
why? Because I don't want them to come back and haunt me.
Okay, well that's fair. That's a fair reason.
When I want this breakup, it's gonna be done.
What if once you told them and explain why and they actually hold grudge against you and then they hunt you down? What if that happens?
Well, I actually kind of have like an ex-boyfriend, the Korean boyfriend that I kind of...
You dated a Korean before?
I dated a Korean guy before. Totally do not recommend. 不是在打地图炮 but
because
it's
the dick size.
Come on. Not everything is about dick size.
I'm sorry. Okay, stereotype.
It's just
like...
Korean Korean guys are like, you know, like all this like misogyny and patriarchy issue in Korea, like admittedly or not. And even after we broke up, he thought very single-handedly, he thought we were getting back together.
What? How? Like what kind of messages?
Well, okay, that was very dumb of me because we're still roommates.
What?
It's nice to have someone to like share the rent because you know rent in San Francisco was not cheap. Seriously, I was broke, so I need someone to share my rent.
So how did you find out?
Well, so I started dating and then I had this boyfriend and I broke up again and I had another boyfriend and then eventually he like broke down and be like, why are you such a bitch? Why are you dating so much?
Oh my god, are you wait, out of nowhere or did you have like an argument previously?
I told him I was going out and I may not come back that night and then he was like, are you dating again? I guess he just couldn't take it anymore. Watching me going out so much and like having so much fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if, of course part of it was because of jealousy. But then
well, of course. But like ex to actually broke down and say those words, that was not
right?
cool.
So like he tried to stop me from going out and then I was like, no, dude, I really have to go.
Yeah.
Like, maybe tomorrow night I'll come back and then we can actually talk about it. So shit literally went down from there. That was not the worst.
Wait, I do care about like, did he slut shame you about that?
Of course he did. He was like, you're such a slut.
That's
and
the
then
worst.
He started bringing out all this
my
question
God.
that he maybe like withheld while we were dating. He was like, so the time that you told me that you never done this or you never did that, were you lying to me? I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Like,
was
who has the time to like set the stage for myself to break up? Like, what the fuck? The whole big drama, you should go back and listen to that episode.
There's an episode about it?
There's an episode talking about like the worst exes.
Alright.
So,
yeah, that's
总之
gross,
刚刚那一
that's
段
gross.
我也不晓得会不会剪进去，但反正如果有剪进去的话，大家可以回去收听我们之前跟 Rosemary 有一集就是恋爱鸟事，那集有比较认真的聊一下当时那个韩国前男友到底有多疯。
那 in case 你们刚刚有把那段 ICRT 听进去 I just want to say another reason why I hate straight men.
Yeah.
Like seriously, 我总觉得他们的 ego is like so high whenever they cannot take it, they just like start shaming
But
you.
when
And
they
I hate
have
that.
this kind of ego, it just shows out how small your dick is.
Can't deny that, but
like you don't have the balls to take up the breakup. To have someone dump you
True.
is like the worst thing
I think
them.
for women, like we totally agree that, but I am not sure if that is how they feel. Because I think 当你有 small dick, there's all, like not literally for small dick, but like when you don't have balls, this is the way for them to show their courage. Although for us that is nothing, but that is for them to argue that, hey, you know what, I still got attitude, I still have this courage to fight back.
Okay, small dick or
like
like no balls, meaning not physically you have a very small dick, but I do feel like from my experiences or however you want to call it, I do think that guys with bigger dick have bigger confidence. Okay, fuck it, I'll just go and fuck someone else. But guys with smaller dick, smaller balls, they are so insecure in a way that they every time they have someone, they just want to hold on to them, and they're having a very difficult time of letting go. That's what I mean by like
totally
small dick.
But just to be 客观一点, like doesn't women do that too? I mean, when you have less confidence, if we're about to like, you know, chase into the 优越感话题的话, 当你有一些些那么自卑的时候, it is hard to let go.
It comes back to like 自卑感. 就是当你今天如果你就是一个很自, 就是 I said this many times and I'll say it again. 当你今天很自卑, 你把自己放得很低的时候, 你就会让就是你会给了很多空间让别人一直来践踏你，
去压制你。
对
Yeah.
That's what I think. So
Word, totally agree.
The breakup is just one example of it, but like 好讲英文
有点莫名其妙嘛。
就是为什么我英文好这件事情也惹到你了 But like there's nothing wrong about it. Like 我今天我就说了我就不是 ABC and I'm not even American schooled. Yeah, I went to the States and lived there for many years, but before that point, before I went to America, I actually learned English by myself. It's my hard work that pushed me to this point that I can go out and tell people like, yeah, I'm fucking good in this language. You can do it too. And also like 我花了这么多时间跟努力在bettering 我的 language skills. 刚刚那句话听起来是不是超讨厌的 bettering 我的 language skills.
You know what we're gonna do today? We're gonna like
It's
give
very
no
difficult.
fuck. We're gonna give no fuck today. That is what the whiskey is for. Okay, let's give no fuck.
Like seriously, 如果今天这一集你真的觉得听不下去，那真的 OK, stop it, pause it, exit.
好不好？ Yeah,
真的
like,
没有关系，我不怪你，因为我可能在剪接的时候，可能也会非常讨厌我们自己。But like, who gives a shit? I'm just trying to elaborate on the experiences that I put so much effort and time and energy and money into this. So if I'm really good at this, of course I should be proud of it. But it doesn't mean that I'm feeling superior over you.
Yeah.
I never said that.
There's a keyword of superior.
Exactly.
我觉得优越感 superior 它的反向跟自卑感这两个东西完全是连接在一起的 but not necessary 当自卑感出现的时候就代表 superior 会出现，也不代表当 superior 的感受出现的时候你的自卑感就会出现。我觉得这两个东西都是不需要外人掌控，你自己就可以去操控的感受。所以我觉得要拿自己的自卑感去指控另外一个人说你凭什么那么有自信或那么有优越感， That is so unfair.
Thank you, because something about this like accusing me for being good at something is fucked up. You know, like if you show up as yourself, there's only two ways this is gonna go. You inspire other people to do the same, or they're just gonna hate your guts for being able to be so confident because that's something they can never achieve. You know, like 优越感 and 自卑感, you know, it's like two sides of the coins. Of course, they go hand in hand. But 如果你要用你自己的自卑感去 accuse 别人就是充满优越, I don't think that actually works.
I do agree that. 而且我觉得在这里有必要先踩一步的说 We don't say this because 我们永远都是被 accused 的那一方。我们今天会讨论这件事情正是因为 after 我们上一次的那个 discussion 关于优越感这件事情之后，我非常深切的就经历过一个 period 是我也跟类似的朋友们 hang out 了，我也在同样我似乎没有发觉到我觉得有自卑的议题里面，我有感受到不快的情绪，然后我发现在那个不快的情绪底下，我很 immediate 完全直觉没有思考的，我就立刻觉得天哪，对方优越感好重哦，就是 Why are you like this？ 我觉得我今天会提起来，然后跟 Ariel discuss 说我们要不要来讨论看看，就是因为我发现这是人性and you do have control over it。 因为以我的 case 来说 I realize that， 然后我知道当你剖析这一段说我的自卑感不等于同对方的优越感的时候， you'll know that you can control it， 因为对方没有这个意思， so just let go of yourself. You either be better or you let go of it.
Do you care to like elaborate on the situation that you went through?
I do, because I do feel like they're listening.
Oh
yeah. 但是我可以给非常类似的例子，就是我刚进到一个新的领域里面，然后我觉得每一个人在面对自己不熟悉的东西的时候，就算这个事情是 based on 你再有自信不过的 skill 或者是经验，但是只要这里面有那么一点点是你自己心知肚明没有那么 confident 的时候，我觉得只要你在一个 conversation 里头，对方有任何的一句小鸡说 How could you not know that？ 或者是Isn't this common sense？ 这个时候我觉得 just as human 你都会觉得说 Oh fuck so is that so？ 我自己有的时候也会做这样的事情，就是我也会不经意的说出这样的话，所以我们绝对是可以理解说对方没有那个意思， maybe they're being funny or maybe they genuinely were like How do you not know Justin Bieber？ 就是那么 common sense 的东西so
Really? Really? Are you really using Justin
Yeah, like
Bieber?
seriously, do you not know? 但就是像这样子的事情，我觉得那个是每一个人都可以有过经历的，你会被 poke 一下，然后它会产生自我防卫机制。我其实把 accusing 对方的这一个 action 视为是自我保护机制，因为当你能够怪罪别人的时候，它都会好过于怪罪自己。
Exactly.
所以我觉得这件事情它会导向我最核心要讨论有点像很哲学的议题，就是那优越感这件事情它真的存在吗？它是存在于世界上真的有任何一个人我想要很刻意的产生优越感，还是它更多时候是发生在因为我们感受没有自信，所以我们为了保护自己然后来去指控对方的一种手段，就是到底优越感它是一个被动还是主动方。 I think this is like worth a discussion because even now 我不太有那么明确的答案。
我觉得for example 既然我们就是在讨论晶晶题，那我们就用今天就用英文当做我们核心的例子好了。比如说你今天遇到了一个英文很好的人，我觉得会有两种状况，一种状况就是Oh, you're kind of envious. I wouldn't say it's jealousy. You're kind of envious that
Yeah.
the person is so good at certain things, certain language skills.
True.
另外一个方面就是你会觉得很自卑。我觉得也许这两个情绪都是自卑感的表象，但是我觉得一个是好像比较无伤大雅的，就是觉得哦好羡慕哦，英文好好哦，可以住在国外，或是哦有双重国籍，或是哦
Yeah.
读美国学校，或是哦交洋人的男朋友。
Yeah.
我觉得这个是一个羡慕。
洋人这个嘴脸，你真的是。
Circling back to our last episode, okay? So
Yeah.
no, sincerely, I really do think that you should go back to listen to that episode
totally.
again. They go hand in hand.
Totally.
所以我觉得那个羡慕是一种羡慕，并不会用这样羡慕的情绪，然后去对 whoever 投射一种比较恶意的眼光。
another keyword 恶意的，我先把它 note 起来
Exactly, yeah. 然后再回到所谓的比较自卑感一点的，就是我觉得这个自卑感会比较被我归类在恶意的情绪里面，因为你就会看待那个人，你就会觉得说，哈，英文好也没有什么了不起，Such a bitter and sour
最熟悉
player,
的
like
一句话
为什么要一直讲经济？讲经济有多了不起吗？或是怎么样？你在美国住过有怎么样很了不起吗？
Yes.
然后就会开始说，哦，你在美国念哪一间学校？说，哦，那你那间学校也没有多好，就是。
They're like trying to find a loophole.
Going down this rabbit hole to like tear you down. 而且我就发现这件事情特别会发生在女生跟女生之间，就是 like 真的不是想要占性别，但是我真的觉得女生跟女生之间的感情非常的It's very complicated. Like a lot of time, it's like I admire that person, but I'm also jealous. Hands down, 女生确实比较会有这种。
I'm sorry, 我会一直发出就是疑惑的声音，是因为 I totally get it. Like as a female, 我觉得我一直来都很 suffer 在这种情绪里面，或者是这种关系里面。但我很讶异会听到原来它是比较常在女生的生命里面。我以为 as human, 每一个人都是这样子。
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's difficult to talk about such big topic without generalizing.
Yeah.
But in my experiences, I have received more of this type of competition. 比较恶意的眼光比较多是来自于女性。而且 what's even more frustrating was it came from friends.
Which is also true from my experience though.
You know, they're not even strangers online or people you don't even know. They're not even acquaintances. They're your friends. So like maybe one day they are having a bad day or like the friendship is hitting a wall. All these bad devilish things came out. All the vicious commentary came out.
Talk about this whole 泛旧
Exactly,
thing.
like, oh my god, like, where have we been this past years of our friendship? Like, why are you telling me this now? Because 我也是有女性的朋友，就是会觉得哦很羡慕啊，怎么样怎么样。可是你会感受得到他的那个 there's some sort of authenticity behind that kind of 羡慕。But 自卑感是一个完全是我会觉得说羡慕的话 I can help you with it.
Yeah, like let's be better.
Yeah.
Let's work hard and let's achieve it together.
Yeah, I help you. What do you need? Let's chat. 但是如果今天是自卑感的话 honestly I can't help you because there's some sort of myth in your life that you need to debunk by yourself.
Exactly.
Because like the worst is I lose a friend. But this kind of myth, the problem you have, the issues you have is gonna stay with you for the rest of your life. I lose a friend, so what? But then you gotta fix your problem. But then you're projecting your problem onto me and that's causing this problem between our friendships.
You know what this conversation reminds me of? I feel like maybe we shouldn't be talking about female as like physically female. 我觉得也许我们在真正说的是 like female character, because 我觉得这一模一样的情境，我们现在讨论的东西，其实我最深刻听到的经验跟故事是 come from, do we still remember Sam's best friend?
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah, I think the whole Andy story, like
true,
referring
true,
to,
yeah.
如果 again 听众们你们还没有听的话 please go back to 撕逼的那一集
Yes.
But I do feel like all the drama that is causing every single accusation, because I don't know if you still remember, the reason why the friendship break up is because Andy had so many accusations, 然后那些都不是事实，那一些是他based on他的感受所推论出来的故事。 So I totally agree. 我觉得自卑感它某种程度你可以说它是有一点恶意的情绪， but also at the same time I feel like 它更像是一种很邪恶的东西， because most of the people who's holding this kind of feeling 我不觉得他们是有意识的， and maybe they're becoming someone that they don't like, 然后他更陷入那个自卑感里面。 Yeah, so still it doesn't make this thing right.
Well,
yeah.
OK, 所以我们 rephrase it, 就是我觉得好，我们不要讲说就是女性好了，应该是说可能在一段关系里面你会是比较弱势的那一个。
Okay,
Does
yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah,
right?
we can
Okay.
go with that word.
然后
Yeah.
that's what I mean by like you have to debunk and unlearn everything about yourself, because I think a lot of people mistaken response versus reaction, 就是一个是回应，一个是反应。Like whenever there's a confrontation, some sort of uncomfortable situation, people react a lot, but they are not necessarily responding. 就是今天一旦有任何的冲突产生的时候，你的第一个反应就是you get angry or you get depressed.
你会有情绪上的反应。
Yeah, those are all reactions. They're not response. Response is something actually fix the problem.
Yeah, you communicate.
Or at least you have some sort of communication, right? But reaction are just emotional.
True.
For me, they're useless. Okay, you're angry now, but can we talk about it? Or you're just gonna be angry all the time?
Okay.
就是我觉得自卑感是不是跟他的其实情绪控管？哇，我这样是不是？Did I just dig a hole for myself? Maybe. 但是我会觉得很多自卑的人会用愤怒来包装他们自己 So they started accusing people.
To add on a little bit, 我会说很多自卑的人他会用情绪来包装自己，理由是因为 I don't think anger is necessarily the only emotion. 我觉得当我们在讲 accusing 的时候，它不单单是我因为生气所以指控你，它背后至少在我经验里面，它有很多勒索的 message 在里头，所以它的 reaction 它可以是难过的，它可以是伤心的 but most importantly 他试图用这个东西传递一个 message 说 hey it's your fault, it's nothing on me, why are you doing this to me, like why are you being so confident that it actually hurted me. This is why it's evil, because it's letting people not realizing what's actually happening, going on in their self. 所以我觉得你刚刚一直在讲一件事情说你得要更认识自己，你得要 dig in 到底为什么自己有这些情绪，我其实真的再认同不过我今天才有一个 conversation 是有一个我的 member 他说他有一点 lost and I asked her why she lost. 他说因为外界有非常多的声音让他不断的消磨掉他对特定事情的信心，然后不断的去影响跟左右他的想法 and I thought I didn't want to give her a solution but I thought this is quite a simple fix. 你会有这样子的感受是因为你没有一个很中心很核心的信念才会导致这件事情and now that we talked about it 我觉得这两件事情是很相似的，你因为不够认识自己，你对自己更没有办法因为理解自己而产生足够自信的时候 whatever people say 就算他今天不是试图 upset 你都会被左右 because you just don't have that core value in you. 然后我觉得这两个事情真的超相似 so yes people should dig into themselves, you have to like yourself in a way.
我觉得这个就是我所谓的墙头草的心态，就是如果你今天是 like if you don't have like a core value, you don't have a principle of your own
and you don't have an opinion.
今天任何人不管是谁熟的朋友不熟的朋友家人远房亲戚来跟你讲任何事情你都风吹草动的 you just went with it
and
it's not necessarily good like 你很容易会因此而受到别人的影响，然后you're constantly feeling lost因为 you don't have like the main railroad to follow.
Yes. Yeah, and you don't have, so that means you don't have the filtering system.
Exactly.
你不晓得什么是 right or wrong, what is good or bad.
会很容易迷路
And you'll just go with the flow.
Yeah, exactly.
而且我觉得比起迷路，那更像是一种很对我来说，或者是我们都很熟悉的感觉。You lost control. How could you ever lost control of your life? Isn't that so scary though?
No, but that's because the both of us are control freaks. Last episode, like Sabrina actually clarified that.
Deny that.
It's funny.
We made
it's
a
very
statement
interesting because
of it,
even though we're both, like labeled as or like categorized as control freak, we're totally different kind of controlling. You want everything to be perfect. I want to know it all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's different.
Exactly.
So, I'm okay with it.
But I think we have to talk about why are we okay with it. I think it's because that is so deeply 我们已经很认识自己了，所以你知道这个就是一个原则跟特质 I can never move on from. 那 I am okay with it because I believe in this principle. 可是我觉得如果我今天明明有这个特质，可是我却没有认识到我这个特质 I think I will be mad. I will be accusing Sabrina to be like, hey, who are you to say that I'm a control
Bitch, shut
freak?
up.
Yeah, like, yo, when I say hey, bitch, this doesn't mean that you're a real bitch, yo.
Calling you a bitch doesn't necessarily make you my bitch, okay?
Exactly.
It doesn't mean taunting Sabrina like, hey girl, if you're listening, we love you.
We did not invited them to this episode already, and now we're trashing talk over Sam and Sabrina. We're not even inviting them to the next episode.
Well, sorry, not sorry.
Oh my god, but they love us.
See, this is what I mean. Like, we know ourselves so well, and also I'm confident in the friendship that it's gonna be okay.
And wouldn't that be real hard? Like 我现在讲一讲有点嘴软，是因为大家不知道还记不记得我曾经说过我个性很差这件事情 like I've also was a selfish friend 所以我有一点嘴软，可是我已经成长了，所以我觉得我有立场说这件事情，就是 you will actually suffer so much 如果你没有不只是对自己的信心，甚至我发现当你没有对自己的信心，你很难对周遭的关系是有信心的because you never thought you're good enough 那永远都会有一个 self-challenging 的声音 in the back of your head be like why should people love you why should they be friends with you? Are you sure they're like actual friends with you? I've been through that. 所以我觉得现在可以到这个阶段 being so confident and say things like, hey, they're gonna love me whatever what, even it's just joke. 我都觉得是超级宝贵的经历，可以说 that's what happened when you start to love yourself. That's what happened when you start to have confidence. Because you get all the confidence not only by statement, 还有 by 所有你觉得应该要 support 你的关系网跟 networking.
Also, I think 没有自信心 or like you don't know yourself well enough. It's also self-sabotaging because like you said, you're gonna start questioning why do they love me?
Yeah.
This is harmless to question why. But if it goes down deeper and it takes an evil turn, you're gonna be asking, are they just faking their love?
Oh.
And then you start projecting, you start hurting people that love you because you don't love yourself enough.
So true.
That's worse because if you call yourself thinking like, are they just faking it or they're just pretending?
Yeah.
Then you really need to snap out of it and learn things about yourself, and because you can't just destroy everything out of your own insecurity.
我觉得从这个对话当中 I had like a really cliche conclusion. That is...
Oh, are we going to conclusion already?
No. This
I'm
is
not
only
done
like
yet, bitch.
Oh, I know. You have so much to share, babe. It's only a temporary conclusion, but now that I've heard of it, is it all about love? I feel like it's so bad if we actually go into the love drill, but I do start to feel like maybe it's all about love. How do you be confident about yourself? People say you have to love yourself, and how do you get the love for yourself? You have to start picking out those little special confident moments in your life and actually form the confidence and start making a statement, and that is by, hey, I do love myself, how do you say that? Accept who you are, and you also love the network and relationship around you, so you accept everyone that they are, and therefore 你就不会有所谓自卑优越这种因为比较才出来的 evil emotion.
I think, I don't know, I'm feeling icky about the term love.
Of course you do, babe.
The topic about it is oversaturated and it's also capitalized. When you think of love, you think of a relationship, you think of like unconditional love, which I think is bullshit. But
what?
I think
let's roll back. You think fucking unconditional love is bullshit? What is wrong with you?
It's bullshit. What's unconditional love?
What about mother to a daughter?
I'm not a mother.
What about...
I don't think there is this pure unconditional...
You know?
Being unconditional is a condition. What? Seriously, I think this circles back to like when we're gonna debate on is there 纯友谊 between guys and women? Because I think for me, okay, it's my personal opinion. It all comes down if you have some sort of expectations, if you have some sort of checklist for guys. Nothing of this is 纯.
Okay.
It's not unconditional. Everything you say, every single thing you do, did, and will be doing is conditioning. Nothing about I love them.
Yeah. I
love them.
It.
I'll do mostly everything for them. Not everything because I'm not that selfless.
OMG.
Mostly everything for them.
Okay.
But I think people need to stop pursuing unconditional love. You'll be happier that way.
Okay.
Just recognize that you are actually conditioning and be okay with it. To me, that is love. Be okay with it.
Alright, well, I feel like that is a very legit kind of conclusion statement. However, I definitely do believe in unconditional love. I don't know everybody's family background, but I do believe that within blood-related family, or what about those people who had pets? Like, you provide your money and your time to an animal that is like not even related to you.
No, because the pet can give you something in return.
Like happiness we're talking about?
Everything is an exchange.
Alright.
Or maybe I'm just like too cynical for this topic. Like if you want to talk about unconditional love in a positive note, maybe you should find someone else to like host an episode, but like I can't do it.
No, honestly, I am like open to all the opinions, so I am not arguing about how you don't find unconditional love for facts.
Well, like to me, it's not even about finding it.
Okay, because you just don't believe that it's actually there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Alright. Well, you know what, then it's okay. I'm open for that comments. I will have to say though, I don't agree with it, but I open for that kind of statement. Yeah.
See, that's why I said like long time ago, like you are a romantic.
I am.
Even though you're a Virgo, you are the romantic. I'm a Pisces. I am not a romantic.
Is that the differences though? Okay, I can deal with that.
I don't know. Just throwing in a little fun fact about us, in case the listener wants.
All right, I can deal with that. Okay, well then let's scratch this conclusion. Let's scratch love. But anyway, I do feel like there's a core value between that. But I do feel like when you start to have, because I don't have a better word to like replace it. I do feel like when you have love, when you have that feeling to know that there are things that you can accept, there are things that you can be open-minded about, and I feel like love would be the best word for it, then it's kind of relieving. Yeah, it's kind of nice to not put yourself in a box and feeling like you have to race and compete with every single other person.
I think we're talking about the same thing, but you use the term love and I use the term to be okay with it. Ultimately, they're the same thing. Just to be at peace with yourself. I think that's what we're trying to reach, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. I would love that phrase though, to be peace with yourself, yeah. Even when you you can't, don't blame it on others.
Yeah,
like,
don't project.
Even if you can't do that, yeah, no. It's not other people's responsibility to make you feel this way.
Exactly. Yeah. And honestly, don't come at me when you're feeling bad about yourself. Because like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Seriously, what the fuck?
I feel like there's only one part left that we have to talk about though. It's the overconfident thing. I feel like when I say overconfident, that is only because I don't know what is the right standard for confidence. And I definitely get accusation about, hey, you're being like too 优越感 because you're acting overconfident. And I never really got what that means. Like, what do you mean by acting overconfident? Because I totally agree with you when you said, I've put the effort and time to make myself better. How can I not be proud of myself? 我有一个 example. 我觉得这 example 没有到特别好，因为我后来觉得这个朋友说的 partially 是正确的。我还记得我大概在回来台湾第一份工作，然后我找了一个朋友来我们公司实习 and to like help me out。然后那段时间我们因为其实我们关系很好，然后那段时间我们有很多的 debate。我当时也不是一个特别 nice 的人，所以我觉得我 challenge 他很多关于 why are you not working hard enough? Like why are you not striving for betterment? Why are you not pushing further? I actually did the same thing to Sam as well. I don't know why am I like this.
Stop self-deprecating. Just be okay with it.
Okay, cool.
Who says you were bad, you know?
Well, it's okay, but I do feel like now to look back, I am a bad person. And I do want to admit that to be a part of how I do accept it all as well, because I think people can learn and be better. And I am definitely a good showcase of it. And anyway, so I pushed so hard to a point that she was like, okay, let me ask you a question, but I feel like you're going to be angry anyway. And I already got angry when she said this to be like, well, you're going to be angry anyway. And I was like, no, sure, of course you say it. 然后他就说，你觉得你今天能够有你自己认为的这个成就，真的是靠你自己，还是其实是你的家庭、你的背景也给了你这样子的助力？ And I was so young, and 你知道你年轻的时候，你就会有那种傲气 be like, of course it's all by myself. Of course 我那么努力，然后当然会得到这结果。But now to look back, I think she was right partially. 但我会举这个例子是因为我同时也觉得他用这个问题来告诉我，你其实有一点太 overconfident 在你自己的 achievement 上面，而你已经让我感受到不舒服的情绪 I want to challenge back、我也想要让你想想看这件事情到底是不是事实，但我当时的我感受又会再更极端一点，觉得说你就是很自卑了，所以你想要用这件事情来压制我的傲气，我的自信、So even till today, whenever 我会问我自己说 Are you being overconfident? Are people hating your guts because of the way that you're acting? 我这个故事永远都会跑出来，所以我到现在还是会不断的我不会说质疑，可是我会一直抓不到所谓优越感跟自信它这中间的标准是什么。 And when we say we should be comfortable of whoever we are, does it mean it's okay to act whatever we want? 就算这件事情让别人觉得说 Hey, you're being all snobby right now.
你有回答他吗？ Like, did you guys finish the conversation, or she just threw you a question?
I kind of stormed out the conversation and just
like you've always did. Just storm out of every single room in this town. Just storm out.
Typical Samantha. I stormed out to an uncomfortable
Very
situation.
Very good defensive mechanism. Good job. job, Samantha.
Right? But yeah, no, 就 literally 就像我刚刚说，我当时心里面有的想法 I put it out there and I stormed out. I'd be like, how dare you to challenge me? How dare you to like looking down on all the effort that I actually put in?
But how do you feel about that question now?
If it's now that she asked me again, I would definitely say, I think I would say 我绝对是比别人幸运，就是我绝对有一个 in average 起跳比较好跟比较容易的地方。But also 如果没有够努力的话 I wouldn't be where I am. 因为我也见识到很多条件比我更好，甚至是跟我差不多的人 they're not making it like as far as I went. So yeah, 我不会 deny 我的家庭有帮助一部分 but I also wouldn't deny how hard I've actually worked on it.
I can totally relate because I think I was the same. Like if people ask me, 就是like you can be who you are right now, is it because
is it only because
you,
of you?
Or is it because you're lucky?
Oh, yeah.
And you know, like the younger me would be, I would not
storm out.
But I would.
And by the way, we were on a bus. So can you imagine
so you
the
just
whole
left?
process of storming out? Like you have to buzz the fucking ring and then you have to wait for 30 seconds because you're not at the station yet. That was very awkward, honestly, very awkward.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so I guess maybe I alter it in a better way, but I would feel offended, of course. Those people who came out like, no offense, but I used to think like, oh, who are you to say this kind of things? Like, you don't know the relationship between me and my parents. You didn't know what we have to go through.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay, but when I share this sort of stories with my 洋人的朋友, they all said the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is the 东西方文化差异, you know? Like, renting it out to you guys is different. 亚洲人就是很以和为贵啊. And also, we were recording an episode for podcast. So you guys were trying to be literal and objective to figure out the beginning, middle, and end. We think of every single aspect around the situation to make an evaluation. But they all said he or she is just jealous.
Oh, the easy and simple question and answer.
But even though we were on a falling out situation, I was still very protective over my friends. So I was like, no, I don't think it was just about jealousy. But later on, I was reflecting on the conversation on my own. I thought
maybe they're not wrong.
Maybe they were onto something. Maybe I was the lucky one, but grass is always greener, right? There are always going to be people luckier than us. But I won't use that as leverage to attack or guilt trip those luckier ones. I just wouldn't. I might trash them. I might trash talk them, but I wouldn't crucify them the way I was being treated because I feel secure enough about myself. Coming back to this jealousy thing, I think maybe it's easier for me to get over it if I just accept that, and maybe people will look at you through different lenses no matter what, thinking, why so smug? Because I can't. Seriously, the same thing as like 情绪勒索 only exists when you're willing to be 被勒索. You know what I mean, right?
Yes. This is pretty much like politics. Politics only works if you're willing to play the game.
Exactly, because I can't change your course for you. You have to cultivate confidence by you, for you. Because wherever you are, there you are. I'm just bypassing your life.
And also, do we want to sacrifice ourselves just to make the friend feel better? No, thank you. That's like way too big of a sacrifice.
All I can do is to make myself feel better about the circumstances, not to change things. What's said is said. So I can make peace with it. Otherwise, it's fatiguing. It's a different kind of burnout.
Oh, yes. This I would totally relate to, Yeah,
this is not a fairy tale. I have a life to live. I have a job. I have a house to take care. I have a husband. You know, I'm busy. Because I feel like all this like 优越感,自卑感 we're talking about is like people hold grudges. Like they wouldn't let it go. You need to let it go. Sometimes I too fell under the traps of this American optimism. They have an expiration date on grief. At some point, they just wish you to get over it. I'm guilty of imposing that idea on people too. Fuck, just get over it already. You can throw a cat fight and win, or come in and fart on my dinner. But it'll just be an ego boost. Next person comes around and somehow, somewhat makes you feel inferior. You're gonna go into tornado mode again? That is not healthy. Because I can fix you, honestly. Don't listen to that fucking song. Nobody's ever gonna fix you.
Seriously,
Fix
shut up,
yourself.
Coldplay. No, but I think to like add on to it with all the whole love yourself, accept yourself thing, I think also one thing that I learned recently is that apart from knowing and acceptance for how people are just gonna hold grudges and being like 有他自己的自卑感，有他的 jealousy, I also think there's one very cliche thing, it's just nobody's gonna 100% love you. Like 不会每一个人都喜欢你 like you're not pizza, you're no money. 所以你真的必须要知道
there are people
like,
actually don't
yeah,
like
sorry,
pizza.
Like, are you offended by am I not pizza? I feel like this helped me a lot. Just like you said, when you act completely honest and being just who you are, eventually there are gonna be people that hate you guts. 所以我觉得知道这件事情，知道 you're not gonna make every single person happy is so important.
Side note that I personally don't love the term be yourself because like who are you? First of all, who are you?
I feel like only because people are abusing this term. Like people are using it to do whatever they want.
Exactly, and I hate it because it's like, oh my god, what do you mean? I think for me it's like you can behave the way you are, but then think, do you have reasoning to back yourself up?
So like be yourself with condition, with moral, be yourself with common sense.
Sure. For instance, when people questioning you, why are you feeling so secure about your English proficiency? You have the answers. It's not just cause.
Exactly.
Oh, because I stayed abroad for a couple of years. I learned my whole life and I dated multiple English native speakers. Whatever. You have reasons.
Alright, you had plenty 分尺.
Exactly.
Okay,
Instead of just like, oh, because it's trendy, because everybody's doing it. I hate when people are like, oh, because everybody else does it too. Like, what the fuck?
Girl, this
Am I
is
just like bazookaing everybody and be like, fuck off?
a little bit. I feel like this is going a little too harsh.
Honestly, if you ask me why am I doing this podcast, I'm gonna be like, because I want everybody to fuck off.
I'm pretty sure you're following a trend too, girl.
Shut up. Capitalism. Think, bitch. Think.
No, but I cannot deny that.
Fuck it. This is me. I get angry all the time.
So literally, you know what's the title of this podcast? Like, I give no fuck. Like, you guys all fuck off, seriously.
Oh, another thing that I had been, quote unquote, accused of for acting so full of myself and shit was I gave too little fuck. Even my husband said that to me before.
I get that
Can
too.
you give a fuck sometimes? I'm like, no. Just, I'm entitled to say
To not
no.
give a fuck.
But there's nothing, honestly, I highly recommend people to YouTube or Google videos about the universe. Watch the planets and cosmos, like the trajectory of Mercury or something. You realize how insignificant and finite you are. And most of your worries are just nothing.
It is true.
Seriously.
Yes.
Why should I give a fuck?
Do not give too much fuck. I totally give. Like, this is something that I do believe and I do execute as well. And I think I can relate to how you say people will actually think you're superior when you don't give a fuck. I also give something that's very interesting as a comment. 要么他觉得 you're too superior to care enough. 要么他会觉得天哪你好好相处 but the truth is only because you don't care enough. 所以我觉得 again, this comes back to the core being like, people can think whatever they want, even if you only act in one kind of yourself. So, yeah, just don't give a fuck about it. You cannot control this.
It's the same as like 情绪勒索 only 成立
only 成立吗？
情绪勒索 only 成立当你愿意被勒索 It's the same rule to apply on this superiority and inferiority complexes. Like if you're willing to 被自卑 or 被优越
Yes.
then you're 被优越
Oh, exactly.
or you feel the 自卑感
So, okay, now I don't feel like, I'm not sure if it's time to say sorry to those ABC that we've been accusing because that you guys are so snobby. I do not regret what I said.
Oh no, why?
But like, I get it. I also feel like the reason that we can say that is because we also know that like they don't 被勒索 they know so much of who they actually are. So they don't just get mad about it.
No, but like the ABCs we're targeting were
Those who care.
Were those like they're intentionally showing it off. You see on their face.
It is. Yes, we do though. So, yeah, to go back to the question, does people actually intentionally being 优越? I do think so.
I think so.
It is definitely the case.
So.
Yes. And honestly, I do feel like even though they started to make a change, it's not really going to change much about how our opinion is. 所以我觉得这也是一个反向的立场 for those whoever you took some fuck so much. This is how the world works. You cannot change another person's thought.
There's always going to be predisposed stereotypes that you can't can't simply erase from people's brain.
Oh, yes.
So it's gonna happen. And when it happens, when the hard feelings started to rise, be okay with it or do something about it. Like stay away from the people you're disgusted by or get better at whatever that's making you feeling自卑,
or if
right?
you're really so 不服输的话, then seriously just strive for betterment. Make yourself better. It's gonna good for you and the whole world.
Instead of like brewing this negative energy within you, do something about it.
Yes, and speaking of this whole brewing emotion thing, I feel like I've been going through so much recently that I see those people genuinely are younger because I think when you are lack of experiences, this is how it happened. But they only wanted to like you said, they wanted to rent it out to their friend. Like you said, they wanted to brew it inside of them and eventually they would just like have this whole emotional explosion and start to blame the whole world for it. And honestly, it's only going back to them. Like 这一种 reputation, 这一种 execution, 它只会最后在 damage 你自己身上而已. So totally don't recommend
Don't
that.
be trapped. Like,
Exactly.
have at it
Yes.
and then do something about it. Because I feel like, I don't know, I think what bothers me was like, if you have that negative energy, you're just stuck with the feelings and then everything you see is negative.
With all the negative filter, I cannot deny that. Yeah.
Really, there is nothing I can do. Even though if I like try to be a little less 优越, it's not gonna help you because you're already trapped.
Yeah, it's scary, man.
Okay, so since we're gonna be talking about this 晶晶体 and this like 英文 superiority, let's talk about like, okay, how did you learn your English? This question sounded so fucking
Really?
dumb.
This is actually what you came up with?
I hate myself for asking it, but like, okay, so like if you're really curious, let's put it on the table and maybe
Okay, well, yeah, let's let it out there. Well, I can say my experience. 我觉得很多人都不相信 because I do have to go abroad very often, especially before COVID. 然后每一个人都会好奇我的 accent 还有为什么英文的语速可以那么快，就算是English 母语的人。然后我每一次讲这个，我觉得大家都会觉得我在开玩笑 because I always say I watch a lot of Hollywood movies. But I'm not lying. I did watch a lot of Hollywood movies. 而且我为什么会选这个当做理由，是因为这件事情是会很大幅度的影响我。我不知道大家还记不记得我在前一集说过为什么我选择使用这个英文的语言 and although it still sound a little superior, 可是我的理由是它比起中文更可以展现我想要跟我最核心的那一个个性 and it does happen because I'm a very dramatic person and you guys already know that. 我觉得中文它是一个相对内敛的语言 and when I watch movie I realize oh that is me, that is somebody that who wanted to be, that is something that is actually hidden in me. 然后原来这个语言它可以做到这件事情 that's why I chose to say English. 所以这个是为什么我会看很多电影的第一部然后当我看完之后我真的也是 don't give a fuck 的个性所以我记得我的14、15岁是在英国留学可是我那个时候是一个英文字都不会讲所以我连 hungry 我在那边饿了我连 hungry 都讲不出来那我回来就待了2年时间回来你可以想象那个英文不可能好到哪里去 like you were only there for 2 years 但是它奠定一点基础然后我从高中到大学都是在台湾念的所以我在这段期间也是最常被别人要说有点笑话的时候因为我就开始讲话都是中英参半的 and that is because I know it's for facts, know it deeply 如果不那么做的话我的英文绝对就会丢掉我这个 skill 就会丢掉So I did it regardless 一路到就算我后来回来台湾工作我不管是在什么样的情境底下我在传产的公司还是我在需要有英文 base 的公司我全部都是使用英文来交谈 make all of my notes So I make it a part of me instead of 觉得它只是一个我需要去 chase 然后安装在身上的东西 I literally 我的自言自语是用英文 I even think I probably dream in English as well So yeah, that's how it works What about you?
It's more or less the same. Like growing up, we're exposed to all this Hollywood entertainment.
Oh, seriously, so much Hollywood going on.
Yeah, so literally I grew up listening to like American pop music and like movies.
Yeah.
Of course, movie helps.
Jesse McCartney.
And that's
Beautiful
the basics.
Soul.
Oh my god.
Jesse!
I don't do anything. No, like seriously, I have a whole like carpool playlist full of the songs that I grew up listening to.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little bit of like Taylor Swift now, but like it would be so much fun that we just go stay somewhere and just like on the top of our lungs. But that's that.
Yes.
And also like I think it has something to do with this like white superiority thing that happened in our culture. Like white is better, so always wanting to be better in English, or like 大家都是一样啊，大家都是从小就开始学英文，从 ABC 开始学啊，然后 like maybe 你家里 can support you, 他们会给你有什么补习班 or like hire a tutor, whatever, you know. But since I was a child, I really relate to the culture and the language. Like you said, I changed everything into English, like the electronic devices, everything is in English. And then I would, of course, intentionally trying to make friends with like Westerners. Then I had a little traveling experiences thanks to my parents that I actually lived abroad for some years. But of course, learning it in school with textbooks is one thing, right? But how do you put it into use is on you. So I write. I speak. Pretty much like 90% of everything I touch daily is in English. So indeed, at some point, I'm going to be not bad at all. And I would even try to create something. Not just blurting out your thoughts, but create something. A poem or
really
something.
Sharpen your skills.
Exactly. And then after that, I majored in English literature and language, but I didn't finish that degree. And after that, I went to the States. But at this point, I was already pretty darn good. And I didn't go to San Francisco without any sort of proficiency. I was already okay. One thing though, like a lot of people encounter me and they'll be like, so how did you learn your English? Like how are you so good at this? Or like, you're from Taiwan, but your accent is American. I'm like, bitch, just because I look Asian doesn't mean I have to talk like this to speak like an Asian. You know, it's part of the language skills. Like, of course, like you have the library of like vocabularies and grammar, and then eventually you want to practice on your accent, you know, because that's kind of like the whole package, right? So I'm just like, this thing about people looking at me or Asians in general and just assume that you're gonna have an Asian accent. It's boggling that a lot of time would just want to like sit down, let's have a talk.
Let's talk about this stereotype. Like, let's talk about this open culture.
Like seriously. So I also read a lot, and when I read out loud. Still to this day, I apply things that they taught us in school. I recite, I take notes. When I'm reading something, I'm like, oh my god, how could this writer be so eloquent? I need to write this down. So I'm still learning every day. Also, something very important is instead of just taking it in, I try to put it out too. That's the only way you know your comprehension, to know you actually got it. Because some people keep saying, oh, you have the resources of speaking daily with the native speakers, or that's your common language, blah, blah, blah. But first of all, yes, I was lucky to have what I have, but there are things you can't have, but there are things you can do. There are more than just one template to get to where you want.
Cannot deny that, yes.
Go make friends online, go on a Tinder date or two, or create, write something, read something and record and play back to yourself. Maybe I should try again with the R sound, or maybe I should practice more on the L sound. Constantly check yourself and spend time on your own instead of blaming other people for having their resources and privileges and thinking we are behaving superior. We are not, or maybe we are. Fuck.
And I feel like there's a funny question while we're doing the sharing. I keep on like rambling in my head. 为什么偏偏是晶晶体? Like, why does this topic cause most of the debate? 为什么从来没有人 jealous 过我说会弹钢琴? Like, why did no one ever come back to me and be like,
my lord,
shit, why are you feeling so superior because that you know how to play piano? Like, no one gives a fuck. So again, it just states how it is so personal opinion, and so 就是 only because 大家都 assume这件事情是比较好的，所以当你做不到的时候 you assume another person is being superior.
Guys, Samantha knows how to play piano.
读者们, if you're jealous of my piano skill, like seriously trash me about it. Come at me.
Maybe because what's exasperating about 晶晶体 is the same as how we view those basic ABCs. Like the vocabs that they use are so basic, like amazing. Potato.
Yo,
those
potato.
Are not the thing people actually
using potato as a fucking example
because it's so easy. Like potatoes gonna potato.
Like like
like what?
Like rice, like
whatever. It's done. Totally but it's the same thing as like the ABCs.
True.
Like, you're just like, yeah, yesterday I went to this party and it was so much fun. Like you're just jabbering because it's just like, what are you actually saying?
Funny. So I feel like it is still necessary for us to 再次澄清一次. We're trashing the jab. Oh, I wouldn't say jab, but like we're trashing the basic ABC. We're not trashing those who can actually deliver knowledge through English language, okay?
Dude, we're not really trashing. I'm not even being abrasive or harsh. I'm
saying.
I'm just
when I
saying.
say those words, like,
well, if this is too much to take, like seriously, grow a pair. Figure it out.
It is
seriously.
Not helping to tell them to
Be
grow a pair.
an adult.
Like, learn the philosophy we deliver today. Don't give a fuck. If you feel hurt, don't give a fuck. Let it go.
Exactly. Or if you're really having this complexity, come talk to me. Like seriously, I'm pretty good at like talking people off the ledge and like.
Yeah, give it a try.
Okay, give me one tip to improve your proficiency in languages. What's that one thing for our listeners to take away?
Honestly, I would just say there's 24 hours in a day. You spend 8 hours sleeping. Spend 10 hours using only English. That's it. Yeah.
Try. Like, seriously, try.
Yeah, do it. Honestly, it would make such a big change. I do believe all the changes comes from the most basic thing, which the most basic thing is your physical reaction. So that means if you want to be healthy, start exercise, start walking. 就是很 basic 的，你不用用脑袋的，你的身体开始感知跟记忆这些动作跟习惯之后 things start to change. And I believe the same thing as language. 你让自己没有退路，你的身体只能记得这个语言的时候 things start to change.
You need to have that built in your system. Like, you know how I learned?
Yeah.
Was I have that system built in inside of me. Like, I relate to the culture and I identify myself better in English. This language is always my go-to because it's in my system. Like, it doesn't matter. Forget about like my environment and like my friends, my husband, whatever. Who cares? It's me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I read a lot and
That's
I
your
use
identity.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel you. And also, I feel like this would be a good opportunity 也提醒那一些 if this is not your case, if any emergency came up, 你发现这个东西它就是你再怎么努力都不能 build into your system, maybe you can stop trying so hard. Not to tell you to give up. Yeah, it's like not to tell you to give up, but 你没有必要一定要 force 自己去配合这种 culture until you're so unhappy and start to holding grudge. 因为 it is so unnecessary. Seriously, so unnecessary.
Yeah, so what you're bad in English? I've known people, they're so bad in English, but they're so good in Japanese. I'm actually very jealous.
Exactly.
They got the N1 in like 6 months. Like, what the fuck? How did you do that?
Yeah, how did they do that? Oh my god, that's so hard.
Yeah, like seriously, find something else that you're actually good at. Stop being fixated on, say, English because, oh, like, everybody else is good at English. No,
That's right.
Not really.
That's
a lot
right.
of native speakers are actually bad in their own language. Like, in school, we had this writing class, and we have to, like, little exercise, and then you have to grade on each other. And you have no idea how much I hated. I hated getting an American essay because it sucked. Like, oh my god, this is your language. How come you fail English? Doesn't even make sense.
Oh, that is so funny.
In the States, they actually have English classes,
oh, yeah,
like different contexts.
我们有国文课嘛
Exactly. So like we would be like we have to recite a paragraph or something, and then sometimes you know like coming from ESL, English as second language, of course you sometimes hear a little accent or you hear a little struggle, which is fine. But the same thing happened to the Americans. Like Donald Trump can't even pronounce anonymously. Google, like seriously, Google search that video. It's hilarious. It's funny as hell. Like seriously, there are people on Twitter putting up like the comparison of Donald Trump English versus Obama English, and this would be like, oh, this is
to watch it.
No, it's actually really funny. Like the Donald Trump version is just like basic and it's like a regular joke kind of talking.
Bubbly,
but if you think you're a presidential material, you should be able to write like Obama. Yeah, this is my entertainment. It's funny because that's how much we engage with the language. So stop being jealous and maybe do something for yourself.
Yes. And really, I like if we can pick. We talked about so much today. We covered so many topics. But if I can really
I
just
feel like
pick,
we're kind of everywhere.
Yes.
Are we everyone?
And we are, honestly. But if I do have to highlight only one thing and limit it one thing only, I would so much say just focus on yourself. Like that by meaning don't give a fuck. That by meaning stop pushing yourself to something that you're probably potentially not born into, or you just from the bottom of your heart don't want to do. If this is the case, stop holding grudge against other people. So just, focus on yourself.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, I have one thing that I think would help because I just thought of it now. Because as Taiwanese, did you notice that we say we're gonna do like a 晶晶体 episode and now we're full English? I'm so sorry.
Oh, we did. We gave no fuck from like the third second.
I'm very
sorry. 今天我们要有一点 okay, girl, you can accent because it's gonna be an ICRT time.
Anyways, I think as Taiwanese growing up in school, that's how the systematic structure taught you. 7000单字, 5000单字. There's like SAT 单字, there's GRE.
SAT? What is that? I don't
SAT
know what
is like
is.
College entrance exam, something like that. Whatever.
Okay.
There's so many different 单字 type for you to memorize. It's like if you memorize all this 7,000 vocabularies, you're gonna be so good at language.
And all of a sudden,
it's never gonna
you're
work.
native
Okay,
now.
so but of course, gaining your vocabularies is crucial for the language because it's part of the territory. But I think a better way to do it is try to think in synonyms. So words that mean exactly or nearly the same as another word. So like maybe for instance, you're trying to call someone stupid. What are the synonyms of the word stupid?
I've never done that.
It's a very good exercise. Maybe I should be an English teacher so you guys can stop falling into the hands of like 莫名其妙的洋人 in Taiwan 教英文. But no, like seriously, it's a thing that I do almost automatically.
Really? Wow.
It's in my system.
Okay,
it's in
okay.
Me. It's like, okay, stupid. You can say, on the lighter hand, you can say someone's silly, or you can say idiotic, or you can say they're
on the heavy
moronic.
Side, you can call something retarded.
Yeah, retarded, moronic, or lobotomized. So like you build up a system for yourself from like the same meaning of a word, but you have the basic one, and then you level up.
That's actually really interesting. I've never thought or knew or even learned or knew about it.
It's very fun because it's an exercise that you can do on your own. You don't have to rely on other people. So you can't blame the environment. You do it inside your own brain and expanding your
And I also
brain.
think that makes so much sense. 因为 although 我是很喜欢英文的人，可是同时我蛮有自信，我的中文也很好。而且 now that you mentioned it，我才发现我是很喜欢写作的人。所以当我要用中文写作的时候，同一个句子3个词汇要在同一个时间出现。Of course， 你自然而然的会想要去收集一些同义但不同样的单字，又或者你想要更有深度的去表达它。So that totally makes sense. How come I never thought to do that in English?
And also, I do have to mention that because I do copywriting for a living, 所以欢迎大家有文案的案子欢迎发给我，我有在接案。But like because when you're writing, you're writing more than just a slogan or the fucking Instagram caption. You have to actually make sense. You can't just be episodic.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that we do is rephrasing. You mentioned like let's say intuition too many times. You have to change it to a different word.
Yeah.
So
yes,
let's
exactly.
do another,
Yes.
How do you call 洗脑?
Yes.
Brainwash.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would think of is brainwash.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can't stop here. You gotta keep going. If you really go through the as a child, I used to flip through dictionaries for fun.
Such a nerd. I love it.
Such a nerdy story.
Nerd.
I was a nerdy kid. Hi. See, how am I this
There's
good?
A reason and background.
So, okay, 洗脑, brainwashed, you can say. Because I heard this term a lot. This greenwashing, be green, go green, it's sustainability, whatever. So I heard this term a lot. So like 洗脑, brainwash. And then you can also say thought reform. Or you can say coercive persuasion or menticize. There's so many different ways to describe the same thing. So practice trying to expand.
Okay. That would be really interesting. Oh, wow.
It's fun.
It is fun. And I also wanted to feedback on, I feel like here comes a little 分支点, just how we're having such a different purpose on the English goal. 对我来说, English is something that I want to expand my world with. Not about how deep it is. It's about how I can communicate with all the people. I like to party. I like to know the world. 这是我很强大的工具去让我的世界被扩展得更宽一点。And for you, it is a profession. It is a beauty in the language. 那你会想要把它的深度再加得深一点点。And I have to say it's all okay. Like 如果你拥有更多的 knowledge base, 你有多一个工具 can make your world more pretty and to expand it to bigger, then yes, you do that.
Yeah, I think it all comes back to what do you want this language for? Like you and a lot of my other Taiwanese friends, they're good at verbal communication. They can just chat a person up and be okay, have a conversation and build a friendship. But then sometimes I get this feedback too. Like those people will come back to me and be like, do you feel like sometimes it's harder for you to dive into a conversation? You want to talk about politics or you want to talk about economics and you can't because of your limited library.
Oh, yes.
No, never happened. Because we use the language for different purpose. They wanted to have a conversation, but they can't really build it up upon basic language skill. But for me, I just genuinely love the language. Honestly, I think English is so beautiful.
Oh, yes.
So I just I love the language to a T. And also because I work with it too. I have to be good at vocabularies and shit. But when I was working in Taiwan and I would write something and they would say like, this is too difficult for our Taiwanese audience. So maybe tone it down. That's when I actually got frustrated because I feel like the word I gave them, the idea I proposed to them was very on point. That's exactly what they want to say. For example, they want to say something like 中性. So of course everybody knows about like unisex, but I feel like, oh my god, unisex is used and abused, and I feel like if I heard another brand come up with the term unisex, I'm gonna throw up. So I gave them something different. Like it's exactly what they want to translate into their branding and whatever, but it's too difficult. I got a little frustrated because I feel like I'm limiting myself. That's the thing about jobs, you accommodate the objectives of the job, so it's okay. But in my head, I'm like, oh my god, these people are so... I guess that's when the superior and inferior complexes come in.
Yes, I was about to say.
People,
I was about to
learn
say.
a thing or two.
No, but if I do have to come back, there's one thing that I would totally go for, not only for English language. That 我最近在读一本是关于批判性思考的书，然后它是一本很有架构，一路带你从大的 structure 到方法论怎么进行批判性思考。And eventually 这本书不是要你去 challenge the world， 它也不是要告诉你说永远都有 120% 正确的结论 so you have to find the right answer. No, 它最终要 deliver a core message 只是 you have to use all the tools that you have, and you have to open up your mind so wide that you can accept all the opinion and all the stand. 理由是因为这世界上有多于一种的可能性。So I feel like to echo back to what you said, 你必须要有足够的知识量跟底气 which is like the 20,000 vocabulary. 你拥有它的时候，你的工具才会变多，你才有办法进到你一直在追求的那个深度 and then the topic can actually expand. So I am totally up for that method. 我觉得我自己的话绝对明天就会开始测试这件事情。So yeah, but like to come back to the last conversation of how they cannot pronounce the super word. Yeah, a little
sorry if I offended you, but sorry not sorry. So
we get that.
Just throw in the unisex. You can say gender neutral, you can say androgynous.
Exactly, neutral will be a nice
right?
word. And I also feel like unisex is not exactly like a business or image kind of term. It's really not.
Unisex
right?
is not really a good... There are a lot of wording or vocabularies I think we really need to unlearn because now we're so much into like being politically correct. So a lot of terms like N-word, this M-word, this C-word.
Oh,
Come on.
No.
You have to keep learning and adapting. There's so many terms to learn now. Like I don't even know how to...
Yes. And I also feel like if we come back to the whole trend thing now that we always said not to give a fuck about it, but to come back to this topic, 我觉得去理解这些 trend 还有国际上 what is going on, what is new is very important because just like you said, why can we not use unisex anymore? Because 政治上面它就是没有那么正确 and how can you actually learn that? That is by 你不要把自己限缩在台湾的知识里面 you have to know what is going on outside of
and
this world.
Honestly, a lot of terms are now banned or considered racist. Back in the days in the literature world, for example, nigger or negro are bad because people gave gave it a bad interpretation. But if you go back,
they put insults
if you
into
go back into, you read like whatever, there are actually a lot of Negroes in there because Negro means black. Literally means black. In Europe, there's like Mountain Negro, like Black Mountain. Are you going to like go out to change the law and change the name of a mountain? Like, be a little sensible, like reasonable about this. Like, a lot of people are like, oh no, you cannot say the C word, you cannot say the M word. Like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to say? That you cannot say midget, you need to say little person.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, seriously, you're taking this too far. I think cunt fits into this context, so I'm gonna say cunt.
Yeah, just do cunt.
So, cunt, bitches, ass, and tits.
I also haven't heard cunt for a very long time. Oh, and speaking of which, one of my ex actually called me cunt. I just gave up on him, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, what are you trying to prove? So what, I'm a cunt?
Yeah, like, what a dick.
Okay, so you think calling people cunt or bitch or whatever insulting, but if I don't feel insulted, like, it comes back to what I'm trying to say, like,
remember we've talked about the differences between reaction and response? Try not to react so much. Take a moment and think real hard and then respond. Like, if people just out of nowhere calling me a cunt or a slut, first of all, so what if I'm a slut? I like having sex. You don't? On the other hand, well, if it's factually not true, it is not going to affect me. Your insult doesn't exist.
True.
It doesn't constitute anything. I don't feel like a slut, so I'm not. Gotta have the mindset, bro.
And I feel like we do have to realize that whoever actually shout out this word or put names and tags on you, they are expecting some sort of reaction. And you've actually did it, then you've given what they want. And you don't want to lose this game, right? Yeah. No, but seriously, we covered too much today.
I know, I feel like we're just rambling. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yes. So I promise we actually came with a, I wouldn't say agenda, but we came with a topic.
Because usually I have like top points and like little notes covered, but today I feel like we should just sit down and chat and see what comes out, because
yes, and I do feel like this topic, it just covers a lot of things naturally.
I like
so
it.
It's good without an agenda. It's impressive how you can actually make it on time every single week.
No, like this Monday almost got busted. Very sporadic time, and like the editing took forever, and I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna miss this one, because I kind of gave myself this like mini let's go to be like, I want to be able to upload every single week, and it's weekly, so it's
this
doable.
And
thing, I like this podcast. It's really fun to have different kind of voices, opinions, and conversations, but just time, seriously, time is limited. But coming back to our quirks of this episode is to be okay with it.
I would say good job, because that was very concerning. Like, we're about to go for another hour, so yes.
Thank you.
Job.
We're good.
I feel like we should have the audacity to explain as well, like, why Sam and Sabrina is not here. I feel like we're just so misleading.
Because those two bitches are on fucking holidays. They're on vacation.
Yeah. The reason day off that they took is because they partied too hard.
Yeah, they literally bailed last minute. And I was a little pissed. Like, dude, seriously, the only thing you need to do is show up, but you can't really do it. But then the next day, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. They partied.
Yeah, I mean, they were drag queen. Like, how can we blame them? I would have partied too.
Sam and Sabrina are on a holiday. They're in New York. We're trying to make this like online recording across 3 continents thing happen. But if they keep bailing, I even like converted the time zone for you guys.
We
Didn't
know.
happen. But anyway, okay, so yeah, more episodes coming up. And if you like this episode, I'm so sorry for those who do not understand. Share and subscribe and 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts.
Here. Give it to us. And seriously, for those 1-starters as well. 1-starter, leave a comment with it. We'll hunt you down. You'll remember that.
Tell us why, or you can go fuck yourself. Seriously, already told you, we give no
exactly,
fuck.
Bitch.
Yes, queen. So thank you so much, Samantha.
Yes, queen.
All right, so that's the end of this episode of Yes, Queen. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye, bitches. No, there's literally one bitch. There's no bitches today.
Yes, like that's what I've been saying from first second. Jesus Christ. Bye, bitch. Yes, bitch.
But I like the the sound of it, like bitches, like everybody's mob.
We feel the vibe
here. It's so
here.
fun. I know. I like it.